Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith. Follow me at Brian P. Smith on Twitter, and make sure that you follow at Smith Television on Twitter as well. That's where all the shows will be posted as they go live on Twitter. And again, this is the show where we bring you all the breaking news of the day. We wrap it all up, make sense of it, expose the fake news, and give you the real news so that you know how to combat all the fake news and the people out there that are just spewing nonsense, trying to help right this thing. Anyways, today it's a huge show. It's Monday, folks, and Monday means there was 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, with a whole lot of information has dropped. Monday morning with a lot of great information that's coming out as well and making news around the world. And as we begin, we're going to jump into some things. And folks, in case you didn't notice, I'm wearing I've had this shirt for a long time, and I haven't brought it back out of retirement. Well, I've never been retired, but I haven't worn it in a long time. This by Grunt Style. You look at the show notes, you can see Grunt Style on Twitter. Take you right there to their page. And speaking about that, since we got a lot of new folks on the show, welcome, everybody, welcome. Make sure you crush the follow, crush the like, crush the share, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And just kind of a heads up on how this works. If you look down in the description below, there'll be a link that says full show notes. YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, I can't put the 3 pages of show notes in the description. So there's a link, and that'll take you directly over to newrightnetwork.com, where the entire show notes have been posted. You can follow along. Not only that, but you can also see all the different people that we highlight on this show from Twitter, people who post up real news, exposing fake news, their names, their handles. The links to their account is in the description of the full show notes, as well as all the different links to all the articles that we highlight here. We've got some great articles today, one from New Right Network, and then another one at Adam Milstein, his op-ed piece, hashtag Islamophobia. That'll take you directly to his site and to the article that he posted. Just an incredible piece. We'll kind of talk about it, but we'll leave you wanting for some more, so you can go check out the piece and read the whole thing. Just incredible. So today is Trump effect, guys. There's a lot of incredible stuff that Donald Trump is doing, his administration, the players that are involved, the decisions that are being made. Do not listen to the fake news media. You're going to get lost and you're going to get upset, and it's awful. I'll do that for you. You leave that up to me. I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. And then I'll expose the real news, and Donald Trump is just having a worldwide effect. You want to talk about the year of the nationalist. People in their own countries, France first, England first, Australia first, America first. And that's what we talk about. In America, it's America first. In Australia, it's Australia first. And Donald Trump really exciting citizens around the world, giving them faith again, knowing that it's possible to elect a leader that has the citizens' interests at heart, America first, if you will. And that is Donald Trump for us. And what an incredible example for America to set for the world stage, to show the world that it is still possible to make a comeback from what was the coup that's been exposed. We got more news on that, just a little bit, just kind of a couple of updates on that as well. So it's really exciting to be able to bring you this real news. And like I said, we got a lot of stuff to get to, so we're going to jump into it. We've got stuff about Iran that kind of exploded. no pun intended, over the weekend. More people violating the Logan Act. If there was ever people to be prosecuted for the Logan Act, as it's never been prosecuted, nobody's ever been in trouble for it, we've got it right now. We got 3 of them. Lock them up. Islam and the Holocaust. Wow. These Islamists are going all out. They're not in the shadows anymore. They are in full daylight. All kinds of things. The big eruption with Tommy Robinson, who's running for office over there in the UK. Islam throwing rocks, throwing bricks, getting violent. And watch out, newrightnetwork.com. We've got some great writers. There's one currently writing about that now. So stay informed, to stay posted. Make sure you're following at New Right Network on Twitter, also on Facebook as well. And when you get a chance, jump over to Smith.tv. Check out all the gear. Check out all the information that's going on. And Donald Trump's Twitter feed is live on our website, so you never miss a tweet from the President of the United States of America. We got Democrats running 2020, and they're not doing so good. Joe Biden, oh, man. Joe Biden's wife is pulling her hands off. Like, man, get your hands off me, Slimy Joe. I know I'm your wife, but daggone it, man. You're too touchy-feely and the hands off. And then we got... I know he's slated in the Democrat 2020. He's not running for Democrat Party, but a mash. This guy is awful. Justin Amash, just a wretched disgrace over the weekend. Mitt Romney jumping in it. We are going to expose the Rhino Republicans. And these are the ones that we need to defeat in 2020. These Rhino Republicans, we got to do what Justice Democrats did and get with Justice Patriots and overthrow these Rhino Republicans. They're all right here. They're on display. We've got the links in the show notes below so that you can make sure that you can retweet, tweet at them, call them out for what they're doing. Got a couple of things on illegals and Dinesh D'Souza doing a great job with that. Buttigieg back in the news, and holy smoke, Fox, what are you doing, Fox News, getting in with bed with Buttigieg? Not funny anymore. And we're definitely upset with AOC and the people in her district. The Republicans upset with her in her district. And we've got some Republicans running against AOC. And then, again, we'll touch on Spygate and give you some of the updates. And then a word from our good friend, George Papadopoulos. So to start it all out, let's get this thing rolling. Again, in the show notes, go to Grunt Style. Check out the America Free 'em All t-shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts. And on the back of the shirt, you can see all the different wars that we've been involved in. Just an incredible idea. What a great idea. For those of you that are young and you don't know Napster, you better be careful. Metallica come at you like ain't nobody's business. Just be careful. Anyway, one of my favorite shirts. And so breaking news, guys, breaking news. Like I said, every day coming at you. And let's just jump right into the Trump effect. Okay, folks, Australia over the weekend. From our good friend at Megavolt001, hashtag Australia, build the wall, immigration, return to sender, Trump winning. Pinkerton, immigration curbs key to conservative victory in Australia. This by Breitbart.com. Electoral events have the way with keeping mainstream political observer humble, especially when the large message is the strength of conservative nationalism. Absolutely. Congratulations to the Christian conservative in Australia. You guys need that. That's what you need. That's how we here in America got it right the first time. We just need to get back to our roots and make America great again. That's why we elected Donald Trump, to make that happen. And lo and behold, beyond our wildest expectations, he is truly making that happen. Had to share this one myself at Brian P. Smith. At Real Donald Trump, Netanyahu joined world leaders in applauding remarkable conservative Christian win in Australia. At Scott Morrison, PM, Prime Minister Scott Morrison. We salute you. Absolutely. Christianity, the religion of peace. There's no question about that. We, in our religion, we absolutely pride ourselves on loving one another, loving your neighbor, helping out at any turn of the road whenever somebody's in despair, reaching out and helping those, the Good Samaritan, if you will. We preach that all the time versus the other pseudo, well, I refer to it as a cult, and that'd be on display too as well. And Donald Trump tweeting out again, congratulations to Scott on a great win. This at News.com AU HQ breaking. Scott Morrison has swept the victory in a sensational federal election result that defied the polls and cements the coalition's power. We did it here. They did it there. Absolutely excited. We stand with you, united in peace. That is how we make this happen. At Alessandra, Macron can't get outside his palace without full military-style protection. Yellow vest protesters want to bring him down. This posted by Salvini. Just look at it at the crowd just going wild, hugging him, holding hands, shaking hands. I mean, this is a man of the people right here. The people absolutely desperately need change in France. I'll be honest with you, it's going to be one heck of an uphill battle for the French. However, just like here in America, you can't give up. You got to keep fighting forward. Even in the darkest of hours, you've got to keep pushing forward. And France, we're with you. Just get that Macron out of there and start fighting these globalists. You got to stop these globalists from coming in. Other things that are going on in France, not looking too good, but here's their number one problem. By the way, at SOTIRIDI, the link for his handle is in the description below. He puts out some great information, breaking news information. So if you want to stay posted to information and news reports, I would absolutely follow him and hit the notifications for this one. Hashtag breaking just in reports that undocumented immigrants are protesting in Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris right now and won't let people board their flights until they meet and talk with the Prime Minister Eduardo Philippe of France. Riot CRS police are on the scene. This is what mass migration. This is what mass migration gives you. It gives you nothing good. We're seeing it in France. We're seeing it in Great Britain. And now we're seeing it at our border. Bad things with mass migration. And this is the thing with conservative Christians and being a nationalist and having your nation's interest at heart, building up with capitalism and using your money to help immigrants where they are. Keep immigrants where they are. Help them where they are. Don't import them all to your country. Nobody's sustainable like that. Nobody can sustain that. And now as we switch over, we're looking over at Sweden. Yeah, holy smoke, Brian, what's going on? Yeah, I ain't lying, man. It's incredible what's going on over the weekend. Donald Trump effect is in full force. This over in Sweden, ruling social democrats facing worst ever EU election results. Hashtag Sunday morning. This by Breitbart.com. The ruling Swedish socialist democrats could face their worst European Parliament election results ever, according to a new poll that puts the populist Sweden Democrats on a near equal footing. The poll released shows the Social Democrats on just 21.9% down from their 2014 results of 24.2%. Swedish newspaper reports. People of the world, unite. Man, you got to stop these globalist leaders, this globalist rule. You got to get rid of them because their policies and their ideologies don't work. I mean, look what's going on with Merkel in Germany. I'd hate to be a German right now. It would be upsetting to be a German right now because your dear leader has betrayed the citizens for Islamic migrants. The next caliphate is right upon us. And you guys, Macron is allowing Germany to be flooded with these immigrants. This at Sandra Sentinel. This is why Democrats are so afraid of Trump. Trump has made America less racist? Quote, after 2016, anti-black prejudice took a sharp dive. That was statistically significant. This by the spectator.us. So after reading the article, great article, I suggest you read the entirety of it. But the article goes into detail about the polling and about what black Americans feel now versus before. And we absolutely know that Barack Obama set back race relations in America has to be at least 50 years, if not more. Just absolutely god awful what you did, Barack Obama. Thank goodness, good riddance, you're out. Now we've got Donald Trump healing America, bringing Americans together with the likes that I've never seen before. I couldn't be more excited about what our president is doing for the American citizens. For us individuals, just absolutely making America great again. This at Ray, MYSTERIO 305, our good friend Ray. Americans, we are paying 535 people in Washington, D.C. to represent us? The hell?
Millions upon millions of people across this land who has come to the same conclusions that I have. Our United States Congress has become a liability to the United States of America rather than a strength. There are 535 people up in Congress in Washington, D.C. We are paying these people upwards of $150 million a year or more, and that's before corruption. These people are supposed to be representing the will and the best interests of the American people, and they are not doing it. You know, we have a broken immigration system. We have illegal aliens, hordes of illegal aliens invading our nations every day. These people are coming here poor and uneducated. They're unvetted, and they're coming into our country, and our Congress is sitting back and allowing it. And I'm talking about Republicans, and I'm talking about Democrats, because the Republicans in the Congress proved for 2 years that they were not worth spit, because they should have had a wall built by now. We had a Republican Senate, a Republican House of Representatives, and a Republican president. And nothing, absolutely nothing got done from 2017 to 2019. And I think it's disgraceful. You know, this is what our government, 535 senators and representatives, are giving us. A broken immigration system, which is causing political strife in our country. They're allowing other nations' citizens to invade our country and cause political strife and economic strife in our nation. They're allowing infanticide to spread across our country, which is evil and satanic. They're allowing Islam into our government and in our country. Islam is a direct threat against the United States Constitution. They're attacking our own government is attacking our United States Constitution. They want to eliminate ICE. They want to attack the Border Patrol. Our Congress has become derelict of its duty. I have a warning for you. If you people think you're going to turn us into a communist country or let Islam take over, there's going to be 60 million people up your ass in Washington. And you can bet your sweet ass on that. God bless you.
Absolutely. We agree with you 100%. Folks, this is an incredible voice, an incredible mind. This is one that you should absolutely follow. Again, show notes below. Click the link, go over to newrightnetwork.com, and you'll see the entire full list of the show notes. And you're watching New Right Network's original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news, wrapping it all up, and making sense of it. Crush the share, crush the follow. And this is an everyday American. This is what we're talking about, saving our country. We've got technology at the top at our fingertips to where we have the ability to produce this show. We have the ability to reach out to each other, talk to each other, engage in conversations, and strengthen each other with the likes I've never seen before. This is just absolutely incredible. 2016 election, I started to see a little bit more of it. But before that, you know, during the Bush election, we all felt all alone, felt distant. Goes to John McCain, felt all distant and all alone, nobody connected. And then you had the Mitt Romney's. Oh, what a sad, sorry state of affairs. But now we are connected. So after 2024, after Donald Trump's second term in office, we can stay together right here, be connected, and continue to keep our country great again. And now what happened over the weekend? Now we got to get into some dirty stuff, folks. Got to get our elbows a little dirty in some of the deep stuff. Iran is absolutely going nuts. They don't know what to do. They're not sure if Donald Trump is another Barack Obama. They're not sure if Donald Trump is a Ronald Reagan and a wild cowboy. I don't think Iran really knows what to think of Donald Trump. And we got Lou Dobbs tweeting out about this over the weekend to Donald Trump. At Lou Dobbs, God bless President Trump. Iran's so-called leaders must think they're dealing with a Bush or an Obama. Hashtag MAGA, America first. Hashtag Dobbs. This at Real Donald Trump. If Iran wants to fight, that will be the official end of Iran. Never threaten the United States of America again. When dealing with terrorists or a terrorist regime, there is only one way to deal with that, and that is peace through strength. We know it to be an absolute fact. Ronald Reagan proved it, bringing down the USSR to its knees. Iran, no different. Bring them down to their knees. Sanctions are working. Iran and the government, the regime is feeling the pinch big time, and this is what we've got to do in order to stop them. Launching missiles and threatening other countries, that's not a smart idea. That's going to get you into a lot of trouble. And we can thank Obama. We can thank Obama for building up Iran and allowing it to be the largest state sponsor of terror in the world. Thank you, Barack Obama. Your legacy, Barack Obama, is Iran. Your legacy is Spygate. Your legacy is Benghazi. Your legacy is Fast and Furious. I just can't say it enough. The worst president in the entire history of America, it absolutely has to be the winner, Barack Hussein Obama. And as we talk about the Logan Act, John Kerry, now we got some new traitors, new treasonous individuals. This at D. Clark 551. Why are traitors like Feinstein and Kerry trying to usurp the powers of the DOS and our foreign affairs departments? By secretly contacting those who wish us harm and death. This is treasonous and illegal behavior in aiding the enemy. MSM predictably silent. This at the Conservative Review from Mark Levin. What in the hell is Dianne Feinstein doing talking on an iPhone to the Iranian foreign minister? I'll tell you what she's doing. She's trying to get payday, trying to get some money, trying to get support. This is insanity. We saw John Kerry. We saw what he did, what he's doing and what he did do. Absolutely violations of the Logan Act. And now we've got Dianne Feinstein in the midst, and she's now interfering with an international situation that could go horribly wrong very, very quick. Iran obtaining nuclear material in order to detonate a dirty bomb somewhere or something of the likes. The blood will be on the Democrats' hands, especially John Kerry, Dianne Feinstein, and Barack Hussein Obama. And this at Representative Adam Schiff, Trump has taken a series of steps to deliberately escalate tensions with Iran. And this is what I'm talking about with shifty-eyed Schiff. This is just awful to go to the media. And the Iranians are watching this. The government is watching. You are literally speaking to the government. You shouldn't be talking about these things.
Ask you about Iran. You're one of the very few members of Congress who's briefed on the intelligence that the U.S. responded to with this military buildup. I know you can't talk about classified matters, but is the military response thus far commensurate with the threat that was described to you?
Well, look, the intelligence does show an increased threat, and it would be, I think, catastrophic for Iran to use violence against any of our troops, any of our allies. But it's not just about the intelligence. What is taking place now was all too predictable. The steps the administration has taken to renege on the Iran agreement, to try to force Europe to renege on the Iran agreement, to try to force Iran to withdraw from the agreement, to go back to the path of enrichment, the designation of the IRGC as a terrorist group, the belligerent rhetoric from the administration, from Pompeo, from Bolton.
The policy decisions.
All of these policy decisions have led us to a state where confrontation is far more likely, and that cannot be ignored. When you take a series of steps that, yes, ratchet up tensions, you shouldn't be surprised when the intelligence tells you, hey, tensions have been ratcheted up. It's now more a risk of confrontation. And this is why our allies are departing from us.
What? Not true. Our allies are not departing from us, and sanctions work. We absolutely have to put the pressure on Iran. If you think they weren't building up their nuclear department and spinning the centrifuges, if you think they actually stopped doing that because you and Barack Obama sent them billions and billions of dollars, if you really think that, then you're nuts. That's flat out, you're nuts. However, I know he doesn't think that. He is nuts, but I know he doesn't think that. This is all about gaslighting their party into thinking that Donald Trump is the wild cowboy and going to start World War III. This is where they go every single time. This is predictable. And again, if you think that appeasement works, let's look throughout history where appeasement worked. It didn't. You did it for 8 years with your dear leader, Barack Obama, the awful, wretched, disastrous regime, and all the problems that he had, and all the debacle, everything that had to do with Barack Obama in the 8 years was awful. Now, as we turn the corner, getting into Islam and the Holocaust, because, well, Democrats embrace Islam, Democrats anti-Semitic. And it's just an absolute unfortunate situation that the Democrats are doing this. It is definitely the wrong road to go down. We've seen it throughout history, and we know what Islam is. We know what Islam is capable of. And I'm talking about conservative Islam, conservative Muslims, those who obey the Quran and do what the Quran says. Those are the ones, not extremists. I'm talking about those. Those are the ones who you should fear the most. The extremists, Islamic extremists. The extremists are the ones who maybe wear partial hijab, but then a pair of blue jeans and a t-shirt. That's an extreme Muslim. Conservative Muslim is one who adheres to the Quran and the letter of the law, which is all about punishing. It's all about slavery. It's all about taking the rights away from the people and allowing the few up in government to rule the entire country, to rule the entire citizenry, and to keep them enslaved. No elections, no nothing. You obey us 100%, and that's it. And now we got right here Adam Milstein, my op-ed piece, hashtag Islamophobia, the 21st century weapon to silence our freedom of speech. I will continue to speak out against radical movements and will not stay silent in the face of phony accusations of Islamophobia. No one will take away my freedom of speech. And this at adammilstein.org. And he talks about Islamophobia versus anti-Semitism and how the left tries to conflate the two and say that the two are equal in some way or somehow. He says the events illustrated how anti-Semitism and Islamophobia are often framed in our discourse as equivalent phenomena and equal dangers. This framing is both incorrect and problematic. Let me be clear. Bigotry, prejudice, and violence must be called out and combated forcefully, whether it is directed at Muslims, Jews, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, anyone else. Those who traffic in this hatred must be marginalized and, when possible, prosecuted to the furthest extent of the law. I agree with you 100%, and the people who should be prosecuted are those that are Islamic Muslims. You do not see Jews, you don't see Hindus, you don't see Christians, and you don't see Buddhists calling out and making fun of Islam. We call Islam out and put it on display for what it is. I tell you what Islam does. I don't make up things about Islam. I don't say awful, dirty things about Islam. Islam is doing it itself. So when you say things like Hitler's a good guy and should mass murder all Jews, that's wretched awful. I don't think freedom of speech, but I'm telling you, if you're an elected official and you say something like that, you should absolutely be censured 100%. And if we're electing officials with those kind of ideologies, Ilhan Omar, AOC, or Rashida Tlaib, I'm just saying that has to stop. But when we have Christians and Jews, here as a Christian, I'm telling you what we need to do with Islam. We absolutely need to embrace those that are enslaved. Talk to Islamic women. Talk to the children. Tell them about Jesus Christ and the freedom that comes with it. That's what we need to be doing. I don't marginalize them. I don't put them down. I don't make fun of them. I expose the cult of slavery that it is. And if you're saying I'm slandering them, I'm about ready to show you what Islam does and how it enslaves its women. And at Real Saavedra, the reporter just deleted their entire account. This tweeted from Imam of Peace. And yes, I told you guys a long time ago, I told you a long time ago, I started following this guy, Imam of Peace, and I was confused by his tactics, but I decided to stick around to figure out what was going on. And he took screenshots of a reporter from Al Jazeera, and he says, here is Al Jazeera reporter promoting Hitler's ideology in 2012. So this is translated by Arabic by Google. Okay, thank you, Google. And at Maria Wadida, who apparently the account no longer exists, translated says, Adolf Hitler, I could burn all the Jews of the world, but I left the rest to teach the world why I burned them. Hashtag FUC Jews. And this was her account, a Palestinian journalist, blogger, and engager, part of Al Jazeera Network, occupied Palestine, Gaza Strip. It's unfortunate that we cannot engage in a conversation with this woman. It truly is, because I would like to explain to her that Jewish people don't kill. Jewish people don't cut people's heads off just to be doing. I don't think they cut people's heads off at all. The only place in the world where you could lose your head, like literally, physically lose your head, is in some Islamic state, by a Muslim. I just don't know where in the world you could go to get your head lobbed off, except for somewhere that Islam occupies that area. I'm serious. I mean, you would talk about what happened. We had to evacuate our embassy in Iraq because of launching rockets. We're not launching rockets at people. We're not cutting people's. You live free in America. You speak free. You can do whatever you want here in America. And that is sort of a problem in the sense of our founding fathers originally believed and understood Islam to be a bad thing and to be incompatible with our Constitution and our way of life. The Barbary pirates, they realized very quickly you cannot negotiate with terrorists. That's their initial run-in with Islam. And I'm telling you, they should have put something in the Constitution that said that any other culture or cult, because now we got Democrats twisting it and turning it, saying that it's a living, breathing document and we need to change it and expand it. No, we don't need to change it and expand it. We need to hold it to the letter as it is and stop other cultures from coming into our country that want to overthrow our government. Realize Islam wants to overthrow our government. Change it to their way of life. Again, I'm not calling out for violence whatsoever against Islam or the people of Islam. I'm not afraid of Islam, so there's no phobia here, so I can't be Islamophobic. Okay, I'm just putting that out there right there. What I am doing is I am exposing Islam for what it does, what it preaches, and its end goal. Now, if you do that with Christianity, you'll find a happy place. Do that with Islam, not so much. And as you can see right there, it starts up and then shuts down. This at MEMRI reports. This is one of two tweets, and they put it up. Holocaust denier on Al Jazeera Network. Israel is biggest winner from Holocaust. It uses the same justification to annihilate the Palestinians. Here's a thread, one of two. Two of two. Holocaust denial on Al Jazeera Network. Israel is biggest winner from Holocaust. It uses the same justification. You're asking me why? It's not there, Brian. I know it's not there. Twitter decided this media has been disabled in response to a report by the copyright owner. So not removed from Twitter because it was anti-Semitic or hateful speech, but removed because of copyrights from Al Jazeera. Come on, man. I know what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to gaslight us to think that it never happened, but we know different. We've got screenshots and we've got technology, got hard drives and thumb drives. We got this stuff saved, you guys. And here's more of the religion of peace on display. It is in English, so check it out. It does do a little bit screaming, but just check this out. At Buzzman888, the religion of peace. Islam.
I again demand to the United Nations on this platform, please make an international law for the protection of honor of our beloved prophet, for the protection of and all prophets, for the protection of honor of all divine books. So takbir.
They resonate in refugee camps that are housed by Zionist Nazis. They all thank you because we surrender to no man. We carry unborn martyrs in our wombs and drop bombs in here. This is the cause, and this is the consequence. This is the one you should not fear. This is the Muslim. This is the Muslim. This is the Muslim.
We carry martyrs in our womb and we drop bombs in here. Folks, I'm not, it's right there. I'm not making this stuff up. There's an imam preaching, and then I had a woman come up and give her testimony. Try going to a Christian church. Try coming to my church. It's a lot of love and peace and happiness, a lot of good stuff. This is not happiness. This is not good stuff. This is harboring of hate and anger towards an entire culture of people. This at Stop USAA. The U.S. judicial system is the best in the world. How does Ilhan Omar in Minnesota support anything else other than our justice system? And for those of you audio only, you're witnessing a woman, Islam, and the priest or the imam forcing her to lick a red hot piece of steel. She's been accused by her husband and others of stealing $2,000. And so now this is the court system. She now has to lick a red hot flat iron. And if she licks it 3 times and her tongue does not burn, then she did not lie. And so you witness, folks, this is Islam. This is Islam. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I got to bring it to you. So she licks it 1, 2, 3 times, licks a hot poker 3 times. You can see she's truly upset. She's crying. She's beside herself because if it burns her tongue, she's a liar, will probably be stoned to death. And that'll be about it. Gives a little bit of water. And so now the imam will inspect her tongue to see if she lied. And he says, see, look, she's innocent. It did not burn. She now breaks down into tears, shaking and completely upset as her husband comes over to kiss her on the head. This is enslavement. This is pure, unadulterated slavery. You're destroying a person's emotions. You're destroying their mental state of mind. They're absolutely in a slave state. This is what Islam does. This is the brutal reality of Islam. And this by our good friend at Echo the Call. Showed this to my husband to get his perspective. His response, if I were there, I would have said, come on, big boy, hit me with your best shot. Yes, there is no doubt in my mind. And for those of you who say, oh, Brian, you're Islamophobic, you're mean, that's just one person, that's one guy. Read the Quran. It tells you have to do, it tells you to do that, to beat your wife, your kids, keep them in line. That's what you do. I'm not making this stuff up. And I'm not saying that that those people are bad. She just needs to leave Islam. Hashtag Jexodus. Hashtag walk away. Hashtag Blexit. We now need a hashtag. Now we need something for a walk away movement from Islam. Seriously, think about that. I don't know what it would be. You guys have come up with some really good stuff. That's not my forte, but come up with something good. Hashtag walk away from Islam. This at A. Roberts 3016. Curious, how do we know these women weren't forced to carry signs? Does Islam allow women to refuse a directive from a male? Well, that's rhetorical, because I'm going to tell you right now, no. If your husband told you to do this, you will do this. And for those of you audio only, there are Muslim women holding up signs saying Muslims rise up, establish the Sharia. Islam will dominate the world. This at Jana 811. And as you heard last week, Rashida Tlaib talking about Palestinians and Israel and getting her history a little bit wrong. Fake news calls her out.
Text test. Yes, as she said, Palestinians lost land in the creation of Israel. But she ignored the fact that Palestinian leaders at the time allied themselves with Hitler. And the total war was how the Arab world reacted to the declaration of Israeli independence. Joining our conversation, our global affairs analyst and former State Department negotiator, Aaron David Miller, and CNN Sunderland Sarfati. Aaron, let me start with you in the sense that she can't rewrite that history, and you can't project revisionist history, so why?
First of all, I think there ought to be a ban on the deployment or employment of Holocaust imagery and metaphor in Washington politics. Every time it's used and deployed, and has been, by Republicans, Democrats, it's wrong. Genocide is not a unique event, but the willful murder, systematic, organized murder of 6 out of every 7 million European Jews is a unique event. And every time it's done, it leads to misunderstanding and antagonism. She also has her history wrong. I mean, on 2 points. Number one, it's an arguable proposition, even had there been no Holocaust. Most of the institutions of the current state of Israel were in place before Hitler started killing Jews. So the Holocaust added urgency and international support. But I suspect with or without it, the state of Israel would have come into being. And finally, on this notion that Palestinians either negatively or positively helped to create a safe haven for Jews, the reality is that the Arabs of Palestine, Haj Amin al-Husseini, the Grand Mufti, in Nazi Germany, collaborating, coordinating with the Nazis about what would happen if Rommel's Third Corps had actually been successful in Egypt and been present in Palestine. They were considering extermination of the entire Jewish community there as well. So this was ill-timed, ill-advised, and I think it clearly is simply going to antagonize and polarize the already polarized debate in Washington.
So we have an elected official that doesn't know history, Rashida Tlaib, and attempting to rewrite history, saying that Palestinians during World War II helped to create the Jewish state. No, sorry. We know our history, and now we've got fake news calling you out. How does that feel to be called out by fake news? Got to be something awful. And with that, we've got a great article over at newrightnetwork.com. And you're watching New Right Network's original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith. Giving you all the breaking news, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, giving you the real news Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Jump over to smith.tv. Check it out. Help us help Donald Trump. Help us help others to make America great, to keep America great, and to expose these politicians for the awfulness that they are. And we've got a great piece over by Fred Warner at newrightnetwork.com. Islam advancing, or CAIR was designated as a terrorist organization by the UAE. Ties to Muslim Brotherhood may go back as farther than anyone thinks. Follow this timeline and find out. Thank you, Fred. What an incredible article. Fred goes into the very nuanced details, very, very detailed, the names of places, the people, everybody that was involved, and the Muslim Brotherhood going all the way back to working with Hitler and CAIR and the intertwines of who they are, what they are, and even to this date, what they're doing and who they're aligned with, Al-Qaeda, terrorist organizations. What an incredible historic piece. I absolutely urge all of you to jump down in show notes and read that when you get a chance. And let's get into some Democrat stuff real quick before we run out of time. At Tombstone Bub, 40 years later, Malcolm X is still right. Obama did absolutely nothing for the black community.
40 years later, Malcolm X is still 100% right.
Economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. I'm suspicious of whites who join Negroes and always have to be in the lead, who always have to be the head, who always have to be at the top in Negro organizations. Those whites who really have the interest of blacks at heart, let them give some advice to some Negroes and stand on the sideline. But don't join the organization and then get at the head of it and pose as a friend of Negro. They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has been betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
40 years later, Malcolm X is still 100% right. Look, Shaun King is literally a white dude who runs Black Lives Matter, an organization that ignores the 300,000 black babies killed every single year. Organization that ignores the 8,000 black men killed by other black men every single year. A white man runs a quote-unquote black organization that happens to ignore black issues. Barack and Michelle Obama, the Obama family propped up by white liberals, did nothing for black Americans or any Americans for that matter in his 8 years in office. Obama picked a vice president, Joe Biden, whose mentor was a part of the KKK. Obama picked a vice president, Joe Biden, who supported the Bill Clinton crime bill, which locked up the most black men in U.S. history. It took a supposed racist, Donald Trump, to actually pass prison reform. Maxine Waters runs her failing district in California, where 25% of the black population lives in poverty. Al Sharpton, a puppet who drums up racial tension to keep the black community thinking that they're oppressed. It's time that we wake up and start listening to people like Malcolm X.
And don't get me wrong, Malcolm X, I don't like his tactics. I don't like where he's going. But if you take what he just said there and you apply it to what's going on today, absolutely true. And when he's talking about liberals and white liberals, don't think that we're talking about the classical liberal, because we are not. We're talking about the liberal Democrats and the Liberal Democrat Party. Pictures worth 1,000 words, and we seen it. Robert KKK Byrd, the Grand Wizard. Make no bones about being a Grand Wizard. Hillary Clinton, he's my mentor. Folks, it's time to wake up, and we're certainly making a huge dent in it with the hashtag Blexit movement, and it's looking more and more like the Democrats are losing the black community because of what they've done in the past 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And now we've got this crazy Republican that done gone wild. He's just showing his true colors. He's telling us exactly who he is, Justin Amash, over the weekend, letting us know that he's as bad, if not as worse, as Mitt Romney, Jeff Flake, John McCain, and the likes that hate Donald Trump. This at our friend Black Widow 1928. Justin Amash is a co-owner of a Dynamic Source International, a Chinese company located in China. Amash represents the Muslim state of Michigan, 3rd District. Now we know why he's attacking Trump. Vote the rhino out. And this is an incredible timepiece that Ben Tolmecki put together on everything having to do with this rhino Republican. According to Justin's financial disclosure forms, Amash is a co-owner. This China corporation that Trump is putting taxes on. Here's some of Austin Amash's shipments from his Chinese factory, Dynamic Source International. He or his family also owns Amash Imports Incorporated. How convenient. And also this article by Bloomberg. These are national articles. These are articles from national places. You can find them all over the place. Yeah, this guy coming out attacking Donald Trump over the weekend. This does not play out well. We call them out every day, all day long. Just like this one, Mitt Romney goes on CNN.
Senator Romney, always good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jake. Good to be with you.
So we have a lot of foreign policy that I know you want to discuss, and I want to discuss as well. But this is the first time you've appeared on a Sunday show since the Mueller report was released. And you said at the time in a statement, quote, "I am sickened at the extent and pervasiveness of dishonesty and misdirection by individuals in the highest office of the land, including the president."
I'll spare you I'll spare you the hostility coming from Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, Amash, says that Donald Trump should be impeached because of the Mueller report. Mitt Romney says, back off on the impeachment, but yeah, man, we need to get Trump. No, we don't need to get Trump. Mueller report's dead. It's over. It's done. We will destroy his career with fact, not fiction. And at Megavolt001, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy destroys crackpot never Trumper Justin Amash over his latest impeachment statements.
With your own convention here, you've got division. I want to read this quote, this tweet from Justin Amash. Your colleague on the GOP says, here are my principal conclusions. Attorney General Barr has deliberately misrepresented Mueller's report. Number 2, President Trump has engaged in impeachable conduct. Number 3, partisanship has eroded our system of checks and balances. Number 4, few members of Congress have read the Mueller report.
Those who know Justin Amash, this is exactly what he wants. He wants to have attention. Now, you've got to understand Justin Amash. He's been in Congress quite some time. I think he's only ever asked one question in all the committees that he's been in. He votes more with Nancy Pelosi than he ever votes with me. It's a question whether he's even in our Republican conference as a whole. What he wants is attention in this process. He's not a criminal attorney. He's never met Mueller. He's never met Barr. And now he's coming forward with this because this is what he wants. He wants a Sunday show to put his name forward with a question. It's really disturbing because when you watch on the floor, you could have a bill with 400 votes all supporting it. There'll always be one opposed, and that'll be Justin Amash.
Thank you, our friend at Real Jack. Did you know Justin Amash was the only Republican in the House to vote against Kate's Law? He also voted against the No Sanctuary for Criminals Act. Justin Amash supports illegal immigration, criminals more than American people. Justin Amash is a disgrace to all Americans. Thank you. Now we've exposed him. Now he's out there, folks. Do not listen to this nonsense. You get the real news right here. And at Cat the Hammer 1, if you haven't checked out the Joe Biden parody site that is trending higher than Uncle Joe's official campaign page, you're missing out. The link is in the description below. Check it out. At V_actually, Joe Biden's own wife forced him off of her. This at Jolly_cat, armed illegal breaks into home in Texas. Yes, this illegal, and as you can see, he's all battered and bruised and beat up. Had drugs on him, walked into a guy's garage with a gun, got into a fight. The guy apparently beat the living hell out of him, wrestled the gun away from the illegal alien, and held him at gunpoint till the cops showed up. That's America right there. Don't mess with Texas. And at Ruth Papazan is the fed up constituent and announces 2020 bid against AOC. Blast jobs killing agenda. This is a very, very smart woman. I would absolutely follow her on Twitter and follow her campaign. Democrats aren't doing very well with their voter base. They're not doing very well because they're gaslighting them. People are turning to technology and going away from mainstream media to find the real news like you get here. And they're having some problems with their elections, and now is our time. Now is our time to take over these districts that we couldn't have won with Aleister Crowley, in New York. Now we have a real possibility of winning over the blue-collar Democrats and exposing now a little bit about what's going on with the Spygate. Updates. I had to tweet this out. This is from Daily Caller. Trey Gowdy at FBI has George Papadopoulos transcripts are potential game changer. Yes, absolutely. Trey Gowdy has seen the papers. He's seen the transcripts, and he says the moment they're released, the game changer happens, and this is going to be big, big, big. And at our good friend at George Papa 19, remember this, when the FISAs are declassified, showing that one was illicitly issued on me, I have never even met a Russian official in my life, let alone on the campaign transition. All the operatives were working with the CIA, FBI, MI6. People are going to jail for conspiracy. Representative Mark Meadows says declassification of Russia probe document is right around the corner from the Daily Caller. This is huge. At Josh for America 45. British spy chiefs were briefed on the junk steel dossier before Trump knew of its existence. UK was in on it all along by the Gateway Pundit. At Lionel Media, any questions? Loretta Lynch pleads the fifth when questioned on Iran payments. Senator Marco Rubio, Representative Mike Pompeo wrote a letter to Attorney General Lynch on Friday accusing her of refusing to answer. Yes, absolutely. We have all the deep staters here. She knows where the billions of dollars went, where it came from, how it got there. She knows all the details on the back end and why it was sent. And Barack Obama definitely going to pay for all of this. And let's round this up with some great news, some really, really good news from the GOP. At Yoga Genie, RNC records another record fundraising haul in April, $35 million in the bank. This at GOP chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. We've seen record-breaking support for Donald Trump and his reelection. On CNN, shocked.
about your fundraising numbers. You are killing it. Let me just pull up for everybody your numbers, how you're situated versus the DNC, okay? So here are your latest numbers. You have 15.9 million that you have fundraised in April alone, record setting. In March, it was 15.5. In February, 14.6. In January, 15.7. And that's, doubling basically what the DNC is. What is driving your success with this?
Well, the support for the president continues to be strong among small dollar donors and major donors. They recognize we're going to be up against a well-funded Democrat field. And it gives me an advantage as party chair to start getting into these battleground states early, focus on voter reg. And I will tell you, I work at this too as party chair. This is most of what I do is raising money to prepare for the elections. So we're very pleased with our team and our success so far.
Oh, it's a testament to whatever your secret sauce is for raising all of this money.
So she's dumbfounded. Secret sauce is raising the money. Secret sauce, Donald Trump, fool. Fake news. And Donald Trump tweeting out over the weekend, starting Monday, our great farmers can begin doing business again with Mexico and Canada. They have both taken the tariff penalties off of your great agricultural products. Please be sure that you treated fairly. Any complaints should immediately go to Secretary Sonny Perdue. At U.S. Vet RAM, Trump breaks Obama 40-year lease to Chinese, boots them out of U.S. shipping hub by westernjournal.com. Donald Trump is making headway for the America First agenda. You're not going to hear this news anywhere. At Real MAGA Steve, there's never been a president who has stood with law enforcement and their families, both in time of tragedy and triumph, like President Real Donald Trump. Donald Trump giving out awards and talking with and bringing up Officer Singh's family, the one that was shot by illegal and killed, and just comforting them and working with them and helping getting officers back on their feet. This at Coda Vets, beautiful smile. This veteran went from homeless, suicidal, and broken to employed, embraced, happy, and a new apartment dweller. Ray at Smitty10940 is one of our amazing success stories. This is what it's all about. Let's celebrate with this beautiful warrior. Give him a follow, folks. Give him a follow. Man, all that being said, whose side would you want to be on? The winning side? The losing side? And there's a reason why the Democrats are losing. It's their ideas. It's their ideologies. They make bad choices. They make irresponsible choices, and they just make plain old bad choices. They like to appease other countries and not stand up and fight for what's right. They're weak, spineless jellyfish that'll take money from terrorist organizations and regimes to look the other way when they do illegal things, like when Iran starts trafficking drugs on the Mexican-American border to the tune of billions of dollars a year going back to Iran. Think about that Barack Obama allowed Iran to run drugs knowing that their administration knew. People were whistleblowing that this was happening, and they knew it, and they wouldn't stop it, and they wouldn't confront Iran. This is why we voted Donald Trump. Fake news media shocked that Trump raising more than double or the RNC raising more than double the DNC. There's a reason for that. Man, come on, fake news. It's because of Trump. I will say this, though. As much as I love what Ronna McDaniel is doing, and I'm so happy and thrilled with what she's doing, I personally donate on DonaldJTrump.com's website. Donald Trump's website. That's where I go. That's where I drop my dime. Anyways, guys, for Monday Motivation, a lot of exciting things going on out there. Again, crush to share, crush to follow. You've been listening to New Right Network's original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith, bringing you all the breaking news of the day. Wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, giving you the real news. Share this with your friends and your family, and jump over to SmythTV and check out the shop. All right, peace out.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.